papers everywhere. I'm going to time myself because I do not want to go over. And first, I just want to thank Malvern Books and thank Scott for inviting me to read. And I am so grateful and pleased to be reading with him, a fellow Texan, although from a different part of the state than I'm from, which is South Texas near Corpus Christi, and Susan as well, both of whom I admire greatly. I'm going to begin with a really, really recent poem. It's titled Advent Again, and it's a response to a poem by Jean Valentine called December 21st. And I, at least my reading of it, which I wrote this Advent, is dedicated to my niece, whose name is Joy, who was born 2 days ago in Farwell, Texas, and I and my partner beat the blizzard here from there last night. So it's titled Advent Again. No, I still don't know how to think of with you, God with us. As many named as leaves, curled, Emmanuel, like ears. In my backyard, listen, every branch bare this tintype night. And your pregnant mother word heavy, swollen ankles, back pain, stretch marks, heartburn. And the hobbled mother possum carrying young on her back, her one lame leg. And living and dead, those I love present, absent, here with me, and my friend S, her melanoma, and the least of these, and then the least of them, and all their names, spoken, broken, the syllables of your name, and this world, Lord, this world, overcast, capital, globally warmed, 70-degree December sky, when amniotic, asleep, did you think of us? How can a lamb think of us? Where not all hours ring bright, some burn blue, without being underwater, but as if in the shadow of, we're walking in the darkness of your face, Mary, inside valleys of Joseph's worry. If every city is Bethlehem on the solstice, road, angels, donkey, star, shepherding, grandmother, dark, who named your child mother, father? Yes, who called you child, light? And I'm going to read a few things from a manuscript that is kind of wandering around in the world. It's called Wonder Thicket, and this first poem is titled You, Breath on a Coal, which is actually also a nod to Jean Valentine, who I'm in conversation with a lot. You, breath on a coal, soul become flesh, you set it on fire. Uncomfortable bones, your ancestors gave hair for a shirt, bird for a heart. Cinders of some star unnamed you glow by, in manifest dark, being breathed upon. Are you this ember? But whose breath? Or are you breath? Because it was fire. Skip ahead. Don't want to read that. There's a series of poems in this manuscript that are written in the voices of biblical figures. Eve, Judas, Jonah, the man that Jesus casts the demon named Legion out of as well. And this is the one in Judas's voice. As Judas, fleeing from the storm in his marrow, in the olive-adorned hour, before I betray you, already the consecrated host, your breath, fills my mouth. As the first word animated, Father fashioned river clay, when I kiss you, a son awoke where your logos had been. Wine-pressed words. I am the vine, ripening the barren branch I'd become. It was as if my tongue had rusted, a nail hammered past severed sinew and bone, no more than a redolent hour before Gethsemane, in the cypress agony of God with us. Don't tell me you didn't know. I tell you truly. Sunsets bleeding through the tree line. Disciple faces began to dim when I ate of, when I drank from. Solitude silvered the scene's sepia tint, as if submerged in an emulsion of albumin, all poisonous. Forgive him, Father. He knows not what he does. Corrosive chemicals cannot transcend. Not that the spirit photograph fooled you. For as surely as a gelatin print gives up its ghost, I know what I did, shattered the moon, brought to your lips the gall-soaked sponge, its bitter herbs. I'd swear even then, before the bread, your body, was broken, before cups of your blood shed, 30 shekels, bitten shards of heaven, illumined in the alephs of your eyes. Christ, what I tasted, bled. This next poem is titled Wrecked Solitary There, which is kind of a homage to Emily Dickinson. And this poem is both for and after the contemporary poet Kazim Ali, and echoes of his work are in here. When heaven's bell rested shut around your neck, what you most feared, being lost or not belonging, did that dead bird have a name? Not the desert without, but inside your within, salt scraped out inscape, being but an ear, some strange race, not spirit but devil ridden. Was it grace that such sin should live? Better for bones to finish knowing in air than wander, a burning cloud. Seared between earth and sky, mind gone numb, you intended to starve where there was no lantern, no cup. Whisper, where was this? Inside tonight, I need to ask, does daylight's always fading feels like dying? Dear damn element of blank, utterly unmistakable ether, will shining be spilled? God, how did you not plummet? If paradise lies between a book's pages, beneath a mother's feet, scripture or rupture? Was it written, you asked, henna calligraphied on your face, unwilling, swirls, unable to tell? Despite all the ways to die, infinite as lines on your hand, in and out, compassion, you began to breathe. Sun-spindled stardust, in and out of you, Babel's son, brother dancer, syllable, and sound. This next poem is in the voice of Mary, and its title is As Mary After the Eclipse of Her Radiance Threshold. Since, well, I guess we're in nativity season now, but as Mary after the eclipse of her radiance threshold. Thus far, sunrise had always been quiet, my time to spin while I watched morning shudder, light wefts crisscrossing the warp of the floor's packed dirt, distaff and spindle, tabernacle thread, chosen, dyed from the deep insides of murex shells, Tyrian purple, wool woven finer than an infant's hair, unlike any other before. I saw he who was God's strength. No, that's not right. Not a he, as a man is a man. No, not quite, but almost a girl. As I was, still that bird-boned, that delicate. Before any feathers brushed the dusk of my hair, before hushed, he stood in my doorway, whispering, and yes, I heard all uncountable wings of his mouth pressed to my trembling. Maybe I imagined, but I'd swear he'd never before trembled, and was. How else explain blind sight, eyes, why this piece of sky, hand outstretched, lily pollen crown, as stamen touched pistol, my spinning stopped. Be it done unto me, I said, overshadowed by evening now, his fear not, quickening. The Lord is with thee. And I'm read a couple more that are newer things from a different, well, I don't know if it's a different manuscript or not, but these are a bit different and maybe a bit prosier. This one is called, I've Come to Say Dear to the Subtle Nothing of Dusk. And I've been calling these, some people actually inhabit their bodies. I don't know if that's what they really are or not, but I've come to say dear to the subtle nothing of dusk. Hill country horizon, any cinder hour between none and vespers, June or July. Even the lightest lip of cloud can incandesce, turn inclement, tornadic, less than a dime or blink of heat-bleared eye. Consider the hail-stoned body of my recently totaled car. Backyard birdhouse, shaped like a church. Sparrow congregation flown or fallen from. Neurotransmitters frayed between axon and dendrite. Ganglia, a patchwork stitched crazier than great-grandmother's quilting pattern all the ants ransacked the farmhouse for. Called, whosoever has ears, let them see. In the gospel, according to my mother. Black iris, radiating rainbow, not unlike my 5th grade Ojo de Dios. Torn toward the wall at the hour of compline, because even then I wanted to sleep unobserved. Whatever sees in the dark, nothing subtle about the detonation between spleen and third eye, failed fallout shelter, the ribs. You were speaking to a small group of children, said a man I'd loved, whose thistle heart I could never take between my teeth. Surfing infomercials for a weather vane, my tongue purple with want. It was weird, I mean, of course it was a dream, but you had written a novel, capable of tracking limbic weather. You were talking about trying to differentiate within yourself, which is the drum and which part the drummer. Though there are no desert mothers or fathers, there is a desert, being the thing that's drummed. And the last poem I will read, to keep myself on time, is titled, The Branches Thus Fallen Are Glyphic Yet Dumb. Ice overpopulated fairy rings, leaving mushrooms in the minority the May morning after. I wanted to be sure to reach you. Neither self nor soul, but unsaid, the shadows of. Psalmic, hardly, but the air's nevertheless charged. If the koan of water is water, what's the koan of golf ball-sized hailstones? What does dark matter not touch inside? To be sure, I wanted to. If a supposedly inscrutable God has a garment with an almost graspable hem, the Milky Way is the finest piece of embroidery I've ever seen. Thank you.